What's up, guys? Welcome to Extreme Nerd Table, guys. If you guys don't know what this is, it's pretty much the end of the week catch-up podcast that catch up with friends and stuff. Talk about see what we did this weekend or what we're doing this weekend. Sorry for being late, guys. I had to try to see if any of my other co-hosts wanted to show up. Only my main man Anthony Sika wanted to show up and he actually has a Kickstarter. Indiegogo. Before I forget, it is Venerella 2. And I'll have Anthony talk about it right now. Here you go. What's up, Anthony?
What's up, Jeff? Kenny's Comic Kid. Hey, you know what? It's bad luck to start a broadcast on time.
Yeah.
So if you say 9 o'clock, it's actually a bad luck. In fact, in Broadway and in the theater, going back to I think even Shakespearean theater, they always started the production later because they saw it as a bad omen if they actually started the broadcast on time. So
we never do anyway. So
starting at 9:13, people, 13 is really not an unlucky number. It's actually a lucky number. But yes, hey, we're here again, another glorious Sunday evening talking all things nerd. I think I think you at least bought some new stuff, and then you'll show me half of the things that are waiting for me in my LCS that I haven't picked up. Yes, I do have a Indiegogo campaign called Venerella number 2 in the works. I'll share a screen very briefly just to show you where it is and how to look at it. And here's the most important thing. If anyone's watching the replay or watching this live right now, and you say, well, I don't want to get Venerella number 2 because I missed number 1. Well, here's the good news. If you back Venerella number 2, starting at just like $15, will get you a starter pack, which comes with a comic, 3 prints, 3 trading cards, and a bunch of other goodies I'm going to throw in. You can pick up Venerella number 1 for just $5, and that's just $5 as an add-on. I'll share the screen real quick, get it over with real quick so I don't have to be like a salesperson. Here's Venerella number 2.
Give me 1 second. Okay. Here you go.
Sexy Savage sci-fi horror fantasy continues for the Vampire Warrior Princess from Venus. As I stated in the green room, I have 19 days left and only 26 backers. Let's do everything possible, folks watching this program, friends of mine, people that hate my guts, whatever. Just, hey, let's get that up because even though I'm funded, I'm actually 232% funded. It's that number of backers I want to increase because my first campaign for Venerella number 1 had 42 backers. That means 42 people were interested in picking up and reading the book. After the book came out, which, by the way, I fulfilled, I ended my campaign in 30 days, the first 30, printed the book, fulfilled the entire book to every single backer in 60 days exactly. November 7th, I launched. Everyone had it in their hands by January 7th. So 60-day turnaround. Where are you going to get that? No one does that, but I did. This one, I'm taking a little extra month because I got a really hard work. My 9 to 5 this month for the next 2 weeks is bananas, and I probably won't be able to draw much. But here's the good news. I have exactly half the book completed. Okay, half the book is completed. That means I only have to draw like 16, 17 pages in the next 2 months. In May, I will be going to print and fulfilling the book. But in the next 19 days, I want to get at least another 20 backers. I don't care if y'all buy a $15 book. I want to get 20 backers so that I can beat my last backers because that's what it is. When you're an indie creator, your goal is not necessarily all about the money. It's about getting more readers.
Yeah, and how you can pitch it to more people to actually read your stuff.
Exactly, and that's what it's about, man. It's one reader at a time.
Yeah.
But the point is, I want to get as many readers as possible, guys. I have, as you can see, $15 packages, $30 bundles where you get 5 books, and then I have original art for sale too. I know I'm scrolling real quick, but again, I don't want to take up the time of this valuable programming. You got bundles, as you can see on the screen. You get a best bundle value, 5 covers, 2 6x9 prints, which is really 3 trading cards exclusive to backers, $30. Where you gonna buy 5 comics from an indie creator on Indiegogo or Kickstarter for that much money? And then I have some original art. These are covers, some interior pages, all still up for grabs, starting at $100 with covers ranging at $200. And when you get that, like you buy this page for $100, page number 20 from issue number 1, you get this page of original art on Bristol board. You get all the books. You get posters. You get a whole bunch of shit. But anyway, that's it, man. No more soliciting the book. Go on Indiegogo today. Back Vanarella number 2. If you're a friend of mine, if you're not a friend of mine, you follow me on Instagram at Wild Mercury Comics or Facebook or Twitter. God forbid. Just share my shit. Good book. It is adult in nature. There's a lot of decapitations, blood, and sexy breasts. So that's
yeah, it's always. I mean, it's always good, man. But like you said, you're trying to get it out to more readers and more people that actually notice it. You know what I mean? That I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna, like I told you before we got jumped on, I'm gonna push the hell out of it because my thing is because if we can get you up to what was it? What was the last?
I just want to get. Last one was 42. I want to get 46 or more backers, and then the next book.
Honestly, I want to try to get you.
And the next book, 250.
Yeah, you want to get you to 40. You want to get to 46. I'll try to get you to 50 this time.
I want it to be. I want it to be so large that I'm having trouble doing it myself. You know, when I reach that point, then I know it's good. You know.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool, man. Honestly, and then let's see what I picked up this week. So so Anthony can get Anthony go. Damn it, that's in my box not right now.
I've been so busy drawing and also playing music lately that I haven't had time to go to my LCS.
I mean, I'm just happy that your creative juices are flowing again. You know, so you're instrument wise and
they're flowing on the floor. Show us what you got there, Jeff.
I picked up the new Saga 56. I haven't got a chance to read it yet, but because I like say same thing like you.
I liked 55 a lot. I just haven't read 56 yet.
Yeah, me either. I've been busy like you. I've been busy at work too. So, and then I got House of Slaughter issue 5, and then I picked up a new indie from Source Point Press.
Nice.
So. And then I picked up Dark Ages, issue 5. Then I picked up our favorite person, Jim Valiant's.
Yeah. And supposedly, I think that issue marks the 22nd anniversary or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And then I picked up I've been getting these. I've been getting these in my box. I actually like these too. I like these but I like his normal cover, but I think. I like because I've seen him draw on that type of
I like those when they throw them in my box. Sometimes they give me the extra, which I didn't even ask for. They just want to make another $5, but whatever. They're great.
And he actually, I kind of figured because like you said, inflation, he went up to $3.99 because you remember he was $2.99 originally.
Yeah.
But I understand because inflation, man, paper went up. Yeah. And then
I'd pay $10 for a Jim Valiant book.
Yeah, I'll pay. I'll pay the because I like his what was it, the deluxe editions because it has a sketch of his in there or like a card sketch. And then Purgatory issue.
Nice.
Issue for issue. By
5. The way, Vanarella, she's based on Purgatory's skin color.
Yeah, Purgatory's skin color, and then based on this person here, Vanarella Unholy. Surprisingly, Anthony, it's actually been good. I mean, but what was it? One thing I can say, he's actually been one of the better Vampirella writers. Being honest, I can't remember why can't I remember his name right now? I'll remember it in a few minutes. But he's been I've been reading. I read a lot of Vampirella stuff, But
Right.
from yeah, but I know he's been doing his history type stuff. But he's been looking in her history up. So yeah, so pick this one up from Image, a new Image.
Nice.
Haven't got, like I said, as busy as you've been, I've been busy too. So haven't got a chance to read it. The new Ghost Rider 1 in was interested, so I
Yeah.
picked it up. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But my like you said, most of my pile is mostly indie, man. But so there's a couple of Marvels, a couple of DC sometimes, just in case I want to check it out or something.
Sure.
But that's mostly what I picked up. Not nothing major, nothing too bad.
Nice.
Yeah. So I can't wait to actually get to read the new issue of Saga. Yeah, I wanted to this week, but I rather sleep in. Oh, and I got this from my LCS guy. Yep. Hold on, I forgot about this from my friend Tim.
Nice.
Yeah, and it is a what is it? It
That
is
Bernie Wrightson.
no, actually no, it is. Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, Ryson 75.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yep.
you're right. I read the name wrong.
See that now. Now see that's how you know when artists are legendary.
Yeah.
You can tell
Yeah.
through the YouTube
Yeah.
across the room, holding it in the glare of the light.
Yeah.
I could tell just by the inks and the detail. Oh, that's Bernie Wrightson. Which isn't the shirt you're wearing Bernie Wrightson or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Swamp Thing. Yep, it's Swamp Thing too. Yeah, it's Ryson. Because I've always liked Swamp Thing, and that's because actually Bernie too, because he's the one that introduced Eric Holland as the new character, anyways, as the Swamp Thing. Yeah, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't, because that's the first movie I ever saw, and I didn't even know it was a comic book.
Yeah,
I remember watching it. I'm like, ooh. I'll go with that. I like it. That's the first ever comic book character I've ever watched.
Did you ever see the sequel with Heather Locklear?
Yeah. Well, it was freaking hilarious.
So bad, but
bad.
Yet good at the same time, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, there even the Vampirella is bad, but bad but good. But
I have to revisit it. I haven't seen it in so long.
I can send you because it's free on YouTube. You can actually watch the whole thing on YouTube.
Oh, I'll just search for it then.
Yeah. Dude, I was bored one day. I went Vampirella movie, and then it popped up on you. I'm like, what the hell? The whole movie?
Very nice.
Yeah, I watched it, and then the guy that created her is actually like, there's a scene in it where she's actually walking through like a club or a strip club or something like that.
Really?
And the guy's actually sitting in the strip club. It's freaking hilarious. I didn't know that was the guy, back then when I was younger watching it. So I didn't know that was the creator of the character. Now that I know, and now when I watched it this time around, I'm like, oh shit, there he is sitting there.
Did you know Roger Corman directed it?
Yeah, I found out, what was it, a month or so ago?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I found out about like a month ago that he did, because I think he wanted to do it a certain way though, and then the studio kept messing with it.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted a certain female he wanted a Playboy playmate to play her. But that studio goes, not really, man. Can we have this person that played Sonya or played Princess Katana instead? And then, because the problem was they had the outfit they had was the original outfit, like how it looks and how Frazetta had it painted and everything. That's how it looked originally. Right. But because since there were so many action parts of it in it, have you seen the movie before?
Yeah, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. But the outfits doesn't look nothing like it. But the only reason they did that was because so she could actually maneuver in the outfit without popping out of it.
She's a smaller actress in the chest anyway.
Yeah. But imagine just her, just her trying to maneuver in the in the outfit like she does have,
Yeah, they should have had Julie Strain play Vampirella.
Yeah, they could have had any, originally they wanted, I forgot the Playboy model's name, but they wanted a Playboy model originally.
Yeah.
And then because Corbin wanted a Playboy model. I think he wanted a Playboy model and a couple other actresses to play her, but
Sure.
the studio didn't agree with it, and the studio goes, "Oh no, man, let's use this person and or
Yeah.
that person." And like there was a couple of
It's
people
not like
that I
it
was,
helped. It's not like it
yeah,
helped though. The movie made no money, and
yeah.
and
But
they must have spent money. I remember Roger Daltrey of the Who was in it, which
yeah.
that had to be big bucks to get him.
Because he played Dracula.
Yeah, yeah,
That's who he played. He played the
yeah.
Dracula character. It was freaking
And he was in a
hilarious.
band in the movie too, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Singing
yeah,
like, yeah,
yeah. It was hilarious, man. I'm like, dude, that's funny. I did not because when when you're younger and I didn't know who he was originally, and then
yeah.
now I got older and I started listening to Who and all that stuff. I'm going,
Right.
oh, that's that guy. I go,
Yeah,
yeah, but it was cool. So, but like, I know you're gonna be having a busy month this month because of Bike Week and all that other stuff.
yeah,
Because the main reason I even know it's Bike Week because of our Miss the America person.
yeah,
Because I saw that she's gonna be at like bars and stuff, and I'm
yeah,
like, oh, yep, it's gonna be busy. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, because I know the Daytona area gets pretty packed with a lot of bikers and stuff like that,
yep.
and then wannabe bikers too.
About half a million people.
Yeah. So that's gonna be fun. Now, I know you're gonna be like, damn it, man! I want to fiend it. I want to do something nerdy at least to get my mind off of it sometimes. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
nah, I'm used to it, so it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. So you're gonna be seeing a boob out of this, a boob over there, a boob over here. I'm just
There's lots of boobs, yeah.
yeah.
So speaking of boobs,
Mm,
I want to talk about our usual host, Randall.
mm-hmm. Our
I
big
know
our
I
big
know
dope.
he's still on his anti Robert Pattinson Batman movie campaign.
But
Um,
I'm looking forward to it. I
I
mean, yeah,
am
I know
too.
you are too. Yeah.
I think it looks great. I hope it
Mm,
makes a gazillion dollars so that people
yeah.
are interested in Batman again.
Yeah. I mean, people were people was always going to be interested in
No,
Batman
but I
or
mean, the Chris
yeah.
Nolan movies when they came out
Yeah.
really, really, really got people
Right.
excited about Batman.
I hope yeah, like
Then
you said, you hope this one gets the same type of treatment, man,
right,
because
and then when the Ben Affleck Batman came in, I think that would have been a way more successful
yeah.
if after Man of Steel they just had a Batman movie by itself,
Yeah, not Batman versus
and then
Superman
had a Batman versus Superman after the
after
Batman
that.
movie was already
Yeah.
out. And because let's look at it. Like, I'm a huge fan of Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the movie. However, imagine if the movie was just Batman and it was him fighting people in that warehouse like for 2
Yeah.
hours.
Right.
Imagine how many people would have loved that whole
Yeah.
universe then.
Yeah.
So, but that's neither here nor there because you can't go back in time. But
Right.
the way I see people that talk about whether it's Michael Keaton or whether it's Val Kilmer or whether it's George Clooney or whether it's
Right.
Christian Bale or whether it's Ben Affleck or whether it's Robert Pattinson. Here's the deal. In comic books, whenever a new creative team takes over,
Mm-hmm.
the writer writes them different, the artist draws them different,
Yep.
and sometimes they retcon whole ideas about how Batman is.
Right.
That's the beauty of comic books. Now, why comic book fans can't swallow that at the cinema,
Uh-huh.
I don't understand because it's the same thing. It's through a different lens.
Right. It's toxic. What's it? What do they call it? It's toxic fandom, pretty much, man. It's like
Right.
they, like you said, comic books, different writer, write them different,
And I'm gonna,
different creative team,
and I'm gonna call him out because as supporters of he is as media, since he's not here tonight,
right?
our good buddy DC Randall,
Yeah,
has been toxic about Robert Pattinson and Batman since day one.
Yep.
And
since they announced it,
and goes out of his way,
and talks crap.
Talk about how pathetic he thinks it's going to be. Now, the only reason I brought that up is because anybody watching the stream and the replay or live, go enjoy what you enjoy. Go like what you like, and give Pattinson a chance, because it might be a great movie.
Yeah, because
And
I honestly think it looks really good, man. And
it
honestly,
does look good.
yeah, but the problem is like they did with Batman versus Superman. They showed you all the good stuff, and then
Yeah, but I remember, if you even watch my YouTube channel, I know that I reviewed.
yeah, I do.
We did. Excuse me. I had a long day. We had a reviewing of the Crow. All
Yeah,
right. And everybody that was on the panel, and a lot of people went, even when the Crow came out, they were like, "Oh, we wish Batman was like this."
right.
Well, 20 something years later, you're getting a Batman movie that kind of
Yeah,
looks like The Crow.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
so enjoy it or
yeah.
don't enjoy it, but definitely don't listen to me
Or our buddy
or our
that we're
buddy.
yeah, he's here
Go
actually.
spend the $8 or whatever it is, $10 the ticket. Go
Mhm.
sit in the theater, enjoy it or dislike it on your own opinion. And that's the way you should appreciate your fandom or your movies. Here he is. His ears must have been ringing,
Yeah, ringing really hard.
ringing, ringing, ringing.
Yeah, yeah, we were talking mad stuff, man, about you
We were talking mad stuff about you.
how you
Oh
hated
yeah.
Yeah,
Pattinson
we were talking
Batman.
about how you were doing everything possible to put out that negativity in the world about Pattinson's the Batman.
Oh sure.
Going as far as to questioning how many films the director has done and all that shit.
Well,
As
I
the
can
voice,
tell you why.
as the voice of reason, I'm not finished talking, so you should just shut up. As the voice of reason, I just imparted that
Yeah.
you shouldn't listen to me,
Or Randall.
nor should you
I
listen to
caught the tail
you.
end of what you said.
You should
Yeah.
definitely go buy a ticket and
Mhm.
support the film so that they can make more, whether you like them or not. And then judge for yourself whether you're going to like it or not. And the one thing that I said that maybe you didn't catch, but again, it's very appropriate. When The Crow came out in the early 90s, a lot of people that I went and saw the movie with, and then afterwards said, "God damn, we wish Batman movies were like this." And now,
You're getting one
25
like
years
it.
later,
Yeah.
you can watch again, just from the trailer, just from what we've seen. It looks like a very goth, a very Crow-esque Batman movie. And you know what?
So you mean
Me
you
personally,
mean
tone, aesthetic, whatever.
Sure.
We've only seen 5 minutes of it. We don't know what the movie's going to be like. But the point is, I hope it's great. But if it's not, again, judge for yourself and support cinema, because, again, a Batman movie is better than no Batman movie. And whether they make 4 Robert Pattinson movies or it's just a one and done, it doesn't matter, because I started the conversation saying that the same way a creative team on a comic book, for example, say you read the Long Halloween, which is Loeb and Sale and whoever, right? And then you read Hush, and then you read Batman Year One, and then you read all the Snyder Capullo shit. It's a different Batman. It's the same Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
It's the same characters.
Different
But
tones.
like you mentioned, Randall, very astute, the tone is different because it's a different creative team, writing, drawing, presenting. And cinema is the same way. Ben Affleck's Batman is different than Michael Keaton's Batman, and vice versa with Pattinson and everybody else.
But I will say this. Comic books are a form of entertainment that's very affordable to make compared to films. And but also films do generate more money. So films, let's people always forget that we as fans, we're not in control of what the studios do. It's the people who run the studios and the people who are hired and paid millions of dollars to run the studio. They have the power, all of it.
Right.
They can do whatever they want. They say, hey, you know what? Let's go away from Dark Batman and let's make a George Clooney Batman and Robin movie. You know, oh, and by the way, we're going to just destroy the franchise and not make another Batman movie for almost 10 years. Who cares? You know, that's their mentality. Yeah. And so they're more affordable.
Not anymore.
They're more affordable to make than if people can do Kickstarters and they can create and make their own comic books. You know, like people can create and make their own movies, but they're not going to have the money to afford paying $50 million of special effects in a movie, you know? So, you know, if you want, you know, that's what I'm saying with film, it's just different. You know, the studios have all the money. I think of studios as banks, right? They have the money. They just need to be approved, you know?
Well, Bat in the Sun actually got funded for they funded for their Batman movie. They're from Kickstarter or Indiegogo or something like that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that was interesting. Yeah.
They make great videos. They make fun videos. Also, keep in mind too, I think a lot of the videos that they make, it's on YouTube, and they probably make a decent amount of money off of the views on YouTube. I don't know how much they make because of licensing rights and all that stuff. I don't know all the details behind that. But what I'm saying is that
when you parody something and use licensed characters, I think that's part of the deal. If you make money off of it, it's illegal.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't think they actually do monetize. Yes, they do get millions of views, which probably helps the backers, but I don't think they can monetize that because they don't own the rights to the characters.
Got it.
I could be mistaken though.
Yeah. And so that's the other thing too, is like, you know, at the end of the day, the studios don't care. They don't care. They just care about money, you know? So if they make something and they do something and they make a lot of money from it, they're going to repeat the process. So that means, you know, all these, you know, like, and this is why Marvel's doing well, because Marvel, all their movies have a very similar tone. But the big thing too is they have Kevin Feige, or Feige. They have Kevin Feige who understands the characters. He knows the direction where it's going. Warner Brothers doesn't. They don't have that kind of person. They're just basically throwing stuff out there on the screen.
They kind of do. They had that Asian guy, don't they? The Asian guy that did that worked with James Wan in the horror. I forgot the same guy's name.
James Wan is just like any other director, producer.
No, I'm not saying him. I'm saying the guy that's in Feige's position. There's a guy that took over. That's like Feige almost, but he ran the horror part of Warner Brothers though, and then they had him transfer over to like the DCEU stuff or something like that. I forgot this guy's name.
We're talking about directorial and creative.
The thing is I get that, but what I'm trying to say is that, again, you know, like if Matt Reeves is successful and then makes a lot of money, and this is what the audience wants, then you can forget Warner Brothers wanting to continue with DCEU. You know, they'll basically be like, you know, unless of course the DCEU makes just as much money, if not more money. You know, so
we'll
see.
But the thing is, the DCEU, which you know is in essence the Snyderverse continued, because let's face it, they're still going to make another Gal Gadot Wonder Woman movie, at least one. Yeah. Black Adam came out of that with Shazam.
Right.
You know, he's still, you know, he was still, you know, and. You know, it's connected. So yeah, it is. There are overlords making dumb decisions and sometimes smart decisions, but it's still the same characters. The Flash movie, the Flashpoint movie, although introducing Michael Keaton, you know, coming back and having a Supergirl and all this shit, you know, Ben Affleck's Batman is still going to be in the film. You know, and it is what it is. And whether James Gunn's films, you know, or his TV shows that have Jason Momoa and Ezra Miller showing up, even in a disrespectful cameo, It's no different. It's no different than Teen Titans Go,
Right.
the cartoon or the movie, which makes fun of Batman and Commissioner Gordon and the Joker and whatever. It is what it is. DC will never be on the Marvel trajectory, and maybe they don't have to be. And in fact, a lot of people think it's a breath of fresh air sometimes to see something that isn't so formula driven. I know when I saw the Joker, and maybe I'm in a minority, but I love the Joker because it was a standalone film. Yes, it was Joker by name and maybe name only. However, spoiler, we did get to see Bruce Wayne's parents get killed in the end, and and the same night that the Joker was created, Batman was created. So in a way, it was like the Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton movie. And to be honest with you, be mad at that first movie. I mean, you introduce the Joker and then you kill him in the same film. What the fuck you doing? But my point is,
the '89 Batman.
Exactly. And there's the comparison. They were both created from the same event. The thing is that, movies are movies. Just, and my whole point was just let it go. Just either enjoy it or don't enjoy it. But I thought your naysaying before the movie, regardless, was, I think it's over the top. That's like me saying, oh, I hope every Marvel and DC comic that comes out is terrible. No, I want them to be great so that they'll make more of them. And whether it's in an extended universe or a combined tied-in universe or not, doesn't matter as long as it's good creative content.
Well, and this is where you and I differ because, one, you're not afraid. You're not afraid of Warner Brothers going out of their way to making worse films because you're like, it's okay. Just keep making. As long as you keep making them, they can be shit.
I didn't say they should be shit. I said you don't have to worry about them being shit because one person's shit is another person's treasure. Okay, you might go see the Matt Reeves, the Batman, sit there for 3 hours and say, darn it, I was right. This is the worst movie in the world. However, and then in 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now, it could be crossing $700 million worldwide, and it'll be a success. And then all the people that love it just disagree with you. That's like politics. It's like you're not right and I'm not right. It's just we have a different opinion. So what, to me, none of the DC movies that have been put out have been, well, maybe 1984 Wonder Woman. I wouldn't call any of the movies crap. I just think some of them are not as good as other superhero movies. But I would rather see the crappiest of the 10 movies that Warner Brothers has put out in the last 5-6 years. Even Wonder Woman 1984 has its valid moments. And then some of it flays flat. Just like every book, every TV show, and every movie. It can't be. I told Jeff before you came on, I said, here's how Ben Affleck's Batman would still be on the screen right now. If Snyder had just made a Batman movie by itself after Man of Steel, if there was just a Batfleck movie, and we saw Ben Affleck kicking people's ass in a warehouse for 2 hours, like that one scene in Batman v Superman, and then we had Batman v Superman, that would have been better engineering. But you know what?
I agree.
Warner Brothers was trying to mimic Marvel and set up a whole universe in 2 movies, and they did. We discovered every metahuman in that one USB drive. Where it took Marvel 10 years to do that. Now, if it worked, maybe we'd have a different cinematic world right now, but it didn't. So that's just life. It was a mistake. It wasn't as bad as putting nipples on a George Clooney bat suit. But
but it's like, well, I view Zack Snyder as sort of like Peter Jackson.
God, yeah.
So like Peter Jackson is the type of director like I want all of it. I want all the details. I'm told that I have to make the movie this long, but I'm still going to film all these extra scenes because I'm going to have a director's extended cut of these films.
Sure.
Which is why when you look at Lord of the Rings, you have all 3 movies extended cuts. We're talking extra 20, 30 minutes added onto the film. I think even one of the films was an extra 45 minutes added to the film.
Sure.
And that's the thing is like when directors have that ability to put everything into it. So we look at Batman v Superman, right? And we see a movie that's like 2.5 hours long, right? When chances are Snyder probably filmed maybe 4 or 5 hours worth of footage to squeeze. He could have made like a 3.5, 4 hour cut of Batman v Superman if he wanted to, you know. And that's the thing is like the longer the movie is, the more opportunity you have to introduce characters, develop those characters into the film, which is why the Snyder cut of Justice League obviously told a better story. It did a better job on the characters like Cyborg, you know, like
And
we
the
got to see that.
the special edition of Batman v Superman is a much more cohesive story for that extra 20 minutes. Even though it's not the Ayer cut, also the special edition longer cut, the extended cut of Suicide Squad, which has 12 entire more minutes of Margot Robbie and Jared Leto's Joker and Harley, is a much better movie because of that too. However, you know I'm a huge Zack Snyder fan, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm such a Zack Snyder fan that I would rather watch Watchmen than read the graphic novel. But here's the deal. As big as Zack Snyder, in fact, I love Sucker Punch, but as big a Zack Snyder fan as I am, it kind of, and I am going to say this on people that hate Zack Snyder, I do agree with something. If you have a 2.5, why you can't tell the same story in 2.5 hours instead of 4, regardless of all the slow motion, maybe you're not that great a storyteller. Because
absolutely.
Because I'm gonna address Jeff. Jeff, you're a guy who owns like multitudes of creepy and eerie magazine,
right,
and Vampirellas and all that.
Right.
When you pick up a classic Vampirella,
right,
it's usually not one story. It's usually 4 short stories.
Right.
Some of them are self-contained.
Yep.
Just like DC House of Mystery. Speaking of DC classic comics, guess what? There are some killer stories in there.
Yeah, and there are some crap ones in there
that are fucking great storytelling. And now we're talking about comics, not movies. But anyway, just talking about media and entertainment.
Right.
There are some Vampirella tales that are literally 8 pages or 12 pages long.
Yeah.
That are better than 16 issues of anything Scott Snyder or some contemporary Tom King like writer can do.
Right.
Okay. And that is just because these people that worked on these classic stories, they lived, breathed
comics. Yeah.
Not only comics though, but cinema. The arts, Shakespeare, Broadway plays, Robert E. Howard, you name it. They absorbed Heinlein, Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
They absorbed all that shit because guess what they didn't have? They didn't have this crap. They didn't have these. They were not distracted. There were no distractions from their craft.
Right.
Okay. And and I'm not saying they're better or worse because art is subjective, but if you could tell a story effectively in 2 hours instead of 4 hours, it's way more sellable.
Oh, absolutely.
Back then and now.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, and again, I think a lot of directors, Matt Reeves is an example, Zack Snyder. The thing is that they want to tell their story. They want to say what they want to say. They want, it's basically, it's their playground. It's their like sandbox. Like, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to do, and hopefully the audience and the people like it. But at the end of the day, I think they're just satisfied with whatever it is that they made.
I'm gonna compliment too, and whether you guys like the movie or not.
Right.
Todd Phillips, the Joker.
I liked it.
No, but understand, from the first frame to the end frame, he told a complete story, albeit not special effects and Thor's hammer and lightning and spider webs, but he told that story in 2 hours, a little less, a few minutes more.
Yeah.
And it's one and done.
Right.
If you never had another Joker movie or Batman reference ever in the existence of the world, it's one and done. And to his to his credit, I know it's not contemporary to compare modern, but let's face it, the first Star Wars movie, the very first one by George Lucas, could have been one and done, and you never would have had anything else. And it's still kind of a complete story from beginning to end. It's just you don't know who Darth Vader is.
Well, I think the genius of the first Star Wars, and it's so funny because you hear interviews about him and Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg, of course, was working on Close Encounters of the Third Kind right around the same time that George was making Star Wars. Yeah. And so they both like made a deal. They say, listen, I give you 20% of ownership over the first Star Wars movie. You give me 20% ownership of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And so Steven was just like, your movie is going to be more popular than mine. It's going to be better. And George didn't believe in himself. He didn't believe that Star Wars was going to be a success. He thought Close Encounters was going to be a bigger success.
Right.
So I think the way that movie is written, directed, edited, like you said, one and done. And George's mindset, he's like, I want to make it that way because if it doesn't do well, that's it, Right. But the idea of keeping Darth Vader, quote unquote, still alive, right, in case it does do well, then he gets to do the sequels.
Yeah.
And then the interesting thing.
And he could have, by the way, divulged somehow with Ben Kenobi on the side. He could have said, you will never, when he said, when you strike me down, I'll only become stronger. Yeah. All Ben had to do was say something like, and you'll never get your son. And if he just could have done that, right? What my point is, to be honest with you, that whole Empire Strikes Back, the whole 2.5 hours of Empire Strikes Back could have been one line.
Oh, yeah.
When Ben was fighting Darth.
Yeah.
Or Anakin. That's all we needed was one sentence to reveal to the audience that Darth Vader's actually Luke's father.
Yeah.
That would have been all you needed and still could have been one and done. Is all I'm saying. It's great storytelling.
Oh, yeah. I think the genius of not revealing the father is the genius of that was, I'm sure deep down he's hoping for a sequel. He's hoping because
of course,
he wanted to make a trilogy,
or he just wanted to sell toys.
Well, yeah, that too. Yeah, I mean, what's crazy too is the Star Wars comics, right? You know who was offered to do the Star Wars comics first?
DC, probably.
DC was offered it first, and they passed. They said no, they're not. They don't like.
And Stan Lee. And by the way, Stan Lee wasn't interested. It was Roy Thomas that convinced Stan Lee.
Yeah.
And Roy Thomas saved Marvel Comics with that licensing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then
Hi, Leia.
And then the cool thing too was that technically the Star Wars Marvel comic was released before the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a neat thing about that. But yeah, I mean, George was smart to do the licensing. In fact, when he made the movie and was talking with Fox, he's like, he made sure he got the because he knew that there was always the possibility of it. He had a vision for it. He knew the possible future on it, but he just wasn't 100% sure. It was just a gamble that he took.
I spoiled it.
Yeah.
And by the way, whether you guys have seen him in reprints or have the originals, when Star Wars ended, in other words, the first 6 or 7 or 8 issues of Marvel presenting the movie adaptation, when they ended, Marvel then continued the story of Han, Leia, Chewie, and the droids. Fantastic art. Carmen Infantino.
Yep.
I think even like maybe Walt Simonson early stuff. I don't know. All I know is the art was fucking amazing. And it was them going off doing these adventures. There was like a 10-foot tall space rabbit. And then there were these other characters. There were these characters that had like robot arms, but they were like Mr. Fantastic, and they went. And I forget the names, but I was buying them off the spinner rack every month as a kid. Like I was 9 years old, maybe.
Yeah.
And I had them all, and fucked up. I don't have any of them now. But the point is, even the guy that did American Flag, I forget what's his name. Howard Chaykin even did a whole bunch of issues. In fact, he's famous for doing a bunch of the covers of those Star Wars.
I think he worked on the first issue.
And by the way, what was great is the story continued. And by the way, there was still some romantic shit between Luke and Leia because Empire hadn't come out yet, or Jedi. We had no idea that she was his sister.
Yeah.
And by the way, we also had no idea that Vader was his father. And there were some interactions with Vader where he was looking for them, hunting them. It was crazy. But the comics were so good because it, just like the Mandalorian, the TV shows and stuff, or the Clone Wars, whatever, all of a sudden we were meeting these new characters. Because all we had in the first movie was the shit in the first movie. We didn't have Ewoks. We didn't have nothing, you know? Yeah. And that's why, and by the way, talking about like fandom and its toxicity or its like entitled feelings. Back then, that Star Wars content, those comics, that's all we had. That Christmas special that had Jefferson Starship playing and had the Chewbacca treehouse and had the fucking Boba Fett cartoon. That shit was unreal to us. That was like the best thing ever in the late 70s because it's all we had. So 30 years, 35, 40 years, 40 years later, just folks might summing that up. Just be thankful. I know the world is full of content, but just be thankful when some shit comes out and some of it's going to suck and some of it's going to be good. That's the law of averages. Yep. Okay. The law of averages says that for every good movie, we have a bad movie. And guess what, Randall? You're not a screenwriter. You're not a director. We can all sit back and be armchair quarterbacks all day long about, I would do this and I would do that. Well, guess what, buddy? There's a lot more to it than that. There's more that goes into the catering on these motion pictures than I, or Jeff have ever seen or experienced in our life.
Right.
It's like making movies, making TV shows. And by the way, I can personally say I used to do commercials and training films. Even shooting a 60-second commercial with talent and lighting and sound, it's like herding cats. So
you got a lot of people on set with a lot of different individual jobs.
Right. So you make a 3-hour film, fucking just ask, it's just it's almost like,
I mean, I like guys like Quentin Tarantino. Like I like those guys that do the indie films because, like Robert Rodriguez, some of his early films. These are people that made films on a low budget. Kevin Smith's another great example. Like Kevin Smith was the type of person like I can make a movie because I don't need to have action in it. I don't need
Well,
to
when
have
you're
suspense or
right,
chasing or
when you're left to your own devices, you'll
right,
always come up with a creative. But for every Kevin Smith and Robert Rodriguez,
right.
there's 8 million other girls and guys making films that suck.
Yeah.
You
Sure.
know,
Yeah.
and also don't get seen. The fact that Clerks was seen and blew up the way it did
Yeah.
that happened because the timing was right.
Right.
You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
what was it 1991, 92? Oh yeah, hey, go see this movie that's, by the way, all in black and white.
Yep.
And is features just people talking in a grocery store and a video store and on top of a roof playing hockey, and all they talk about is Star Wars and blowjobs. So, you know, it's
I
just
forgot
the
about
world.
that.
But what it was is the world needed that at the moment.
Right.
And they got it.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if it wasn't for that
It,
movie and
it was relatable.
the timing, the relatability of it, you know, and
Yeah.
everything, that's
Well,
what struck. And also
well, yeah.
his insertion of pop culture. The one
Oh,
thing
absolutely.
that Kevin Smith can be, if people want to bow at the altar of Kevin Smith, the one thing that he can be applauded by is
Yeah.
bringing the cinematic, the sci-fi, and the nerd culture together in his first several films.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
now his films are kind of shitty because of it, in my opinion, because it's been done so much.
Yeah.
But when he did Mallrats, when he did Clerks,
Chasing Amy and all
Chasing
that.
Amy,
Yeah.
and I'll even go as far as Dogma.
Yep.
Those first four films
Yeah.
had so much pop culture reference, had so many iconic actors, actresses, celebrities in them. And
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it, first Stan Lee cameo, really, you
Yeah.
know, as himself talking about Marvel Comics, about, you know, Spider-Man, great responsibility line and all that
Oh, yeah.
shit. And it was fun. And for geeks, for sci-fi lovers, for cinema lovers, all the Star Wars talk, all the Star Trek talk, everything
Yeah.
that was in it was so refreshing, and he really paved the way. Now, every show, you know, it's like there wouldn't be a Big Bang Theory if it wasn't for Clerks.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
he
Well, I mean, I
he
feel
was the
like
Beatles in pop culture references.
yeah. No, I feel like Chuck Lorre, because he himself is part of the pop culture. Like, not a lot of people know that he wrote the theme song. He wrote, and I think he performed it too. But I think mainly he wrote the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series theme song.
Really?
Oh
You know,
yeah. I
yeah.
forgot about that. Yeah.
So the cool thing is when you see the show Two and a Half Men, and Charlie Sheen's character writes jingles for
Yeah.
commercials. That I think in a way is supposed to be
That's biographic on Chuck.
loosely Chuck Lorre, yeah.
Yeah.
And but yeah, Big Bang Theory, it's the idea of very smart people, you know, geniuses tend to lean towards hobbies like comic books because comic books are science fiction, right?
Sure.
You got a lot of science fiction in comic books. You have fantasy. These are all things that you know, essentially a lot of intelligent people are drawn to. Like, to them, this is like fun for them, you know.
Right.
So, and then, you know, but I mean, like they also at the same time, like that you see them doing other things that everybody else does. You know, you see them
Yeah.
playing video games. You know, like they're trying to show, like, even
Hey.
though these people are smarter than you, they're people just like you. They can
Hey,
be relatable.
let's go into the shallow end a little bit, because we're upending the fun show that Jeff hosts every week here. Did you pick up anything this week?
Randall.
Oh, I mean, yeah, every week I pick something up, but I don't.
You got
have
anything you could show us on the screen?
I have nothing to show. I've been so
Oh
busy
my
today.
God.
So how's that going? How's the shop going, and how's all
Well, yeah,
that
tell
going?
us about your shop.
Yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. Like, you know, the big thing we got to do is obviously keep posting, keep advertising.
Are you open?
We are open. We opened officially.
Has Jeff stopped by yet?
Not yet.
He was going to stop by today.
I didn't say that. I didn't tell you I was gonna stop
You
by
said that
today.
last week. You
I
said
didn't
that last
say
week
that.
on the show.
He's a busy man.
I
Randall?
had to work until 7 in the morning the night before. So
Yeah, Randall, come on now.
Yeah.
He's got dates.
You asked if
He's
we're
got
open on Sunday.
he's
I'm
got
like, yep, we're open.
he's
we're
got
open on
dinner
Sunday.
parties at the Frazetta's mansion.
yeah.
You can't bother him with your little store.
Your little
Yeah.
Your pedestrian store. He's dining and sipping tea and cognac with art legend royalty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's dining and socializing with the fruit of the loins of the great Frank Frazetta. So that takes priority over your store. What's the name of it? Please advertise it.
South Tampa Comics.
South Tampa Comics.
Oh, yeah, it's
That's a very original name.
It's a couple of It's a couple blocks away from MacDill Air Force Base, isn't it? Like a block
well, not
or
a couple blocks, but it's like a mile away from it.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. So we're like south of Gandy. We're off of Del Mabry.
Right.
Del Mabry is like the busiest street in like the Tampa area.
Do you have a lot of back issues there?
Not yet. We've got like maybe 8 short.
Are you buying? Is the store looking to buy people's collections and things?
Oh, always. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, make sure you put that out there in your Facebook posts and stuff.
We've already gotten, people messaging me.
Good.
I've gotten like 1 or 2 people that came in this week, and they're like, "Oh, do you buy comics?" "Oh, I got some." I'll bring them in.
Now, is the store also doing gaming, like cards and things?
Not at the moment. We have to get with a distributor to start carrying some of those cards. So right now, the big thing we're working on is getting a Diamond account for the store. Like my Diamond account, I found out I have to get a hold of somebody at Diamond, because the one lady that I was talking to before, like I emailed her, she never emailed me back. So I'm starting to believe that either she quit or she got fired from Diamond. So like I basically have to speak to somebody else at Diamond to find out what's going on with my account. Because if they close my account, I'll be a little disappointed, because I'm like, you guys didn't notify me.
Right.
Plus, there's a deposit down, so like I need to get my money back if you close down my account. So I'm gonna find out on Monday, give them a call. But yeah, once we open up a Diamond account, we'll be able to order like independent books. We'll be able to get in like Image, IDW, all that stuff. So in the meantime, we're just carrying Marvel and DC, your 2 favorites, Anthony.
So yeah,
I wish they were.
You're carrying the big 2.
They're the big 2's characters are my favorite. I just wish they honored them a little bit more. That's all.
Yeah.
I wish the editors at both companies woke the fuck up and started realizing that their audience is not just 13-year-old lesbians. Okay. Because guess what? Those 13-year-old lesbians, although you do want their money, this 51-year-old white male, straight male, has a lot more money than all your 13-year-old lesbians combined. And I would.
You got to look at book sales too.
And I would buy more Marvel books, but like I said, I peruse them in the store, and I look at them and like,
especially for what they're charging.
Put them down.
Yeah, and what they're charging and what they're printing it on, man.
And that goes double for DC, and there are 18,000 Batman titles.
Yeah. And then
all I want for Christmas was a Justice Society book, and it doesn't even need to be written by Jeff Johns. Just give me one. I want those characters in a book again, and I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I'm clear about that. I'm transparent about that. I'm also clear about give me an actual good Legion of Superheroes book, not written by Brian Michael Bendis, with the real iconic characters in it, like Timberwolf and Dream Girl and all that shit. Give me that, and I'll buy it.
Speaking of which, did you hear who is the new Batman writer?
No.
No.
It is Mr. Chip Zdarsky.
Well, that's gonna. Starsky's actually decent, so I'm actually
Good.
I may actually pick it up.
The guy's been writing Daredevil, and people
You know what he's
been
gonna
raving
do?
about how great his Daredevil is.
Bruce Wayne is gonna go to jail for a year. And some woman is gonna wear Batman's costume.
It's gonna be Selena Kyle.
Actually, to be honest with you, Jeff, you just wrote a better story than Tom King has written in the last 6 years. Did you hear what he just said?
Yeah, Selena Kyle as Batman.
Batman goes to jail, and Selena Kyle puts on the cowl. By the way, Jeff, somebody better call DC because that was a great idea, Jeff.
Yeah,
that's honestly what Chip Zdarsky is doing with Daredevil, where Elektra is Daredevil.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
That's why we did. That's why we said it, Randall. We got it.
Yeah.
All right, just making sure.
No, that's where it's come from. And by the way, I don't read Daredevil, but I know that that's what it's about. So
that's the whole reason I
got a free comic book day issue and I read it. So, I'm like, oh, this is a good book. I should have been and remember my comment a few months ago. I said, you know what? If I knew that Daredevil was that good, I would have given it a chance when the first 10 issues came out, the first volume, and I know they're available on trade, but the point is Marvel never marketed it to me.
Yeah.
Right.
And I know I'm being unjust by that, but honestly, I was seeing so much Jonathan Hickman, whatever fucking House of X, Powers of X, Invasion of the Body Snatchers X. Right. And I was seeing all that Pod People X.
Yeah.
And I was seeing all this X-Men gala. All that was being solicited all the time on my Instagram feeds and my, the sponsored ads that Marvel. It's always like, here's the X-Men gala. And that was all I was seeing. Meanwhile, Chip Zdarsky writing this great Daredevil. And by the way, and I'll say something else too, Marvel, all the publicity that you did with Venom and Absolute Carnage with Donny Cates and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I was already reading it from issue 1 because I liked Donny Cates' writing.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading Thor from issue 1. No one was, other than the blackness or whatever, the characters in Thor, the key issues, no one was pushing Thor.
Nope.
They were pushing Venom and Carnage and everything else Donny Cates was writing, but they were never promoting Thor.
And Thor's one of the better ones.
Which to me, the first 16 issues at least, I loved every single one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not one issue let me down.
Right.
But again, 51-year-old white heterosexual males, maybe you should just put us in the mix a little bit. Because guess what? Guess what? Not to brag, but it is a flex. Been picking up comics since 1976.
Right before Star Wars.
But religiously doing it.
Yeah.
So why are you not doing anything that I can still read as a 50-year-old? They're the same characters. Doesn't mean they can't be diverse. Doesn't mean they can't be modern.
Right.
But still, storytelling is storytelling. Make good shit. People will buy it. I don't care what sex they are, race, age, whatever. If they're good stories, they're going to resonate.
Yeah.
Saga's not written for me.
Yeah.
But I like it a lot.
Yeah. So,
because it's good.
So here's your advertising, okay? Here's your advertising. All right? I just told you, Chip Zdarsky is going to be taking over Batman. Okay? You were like, man, I wish I had known his Daredevil was that good.
I will peruse it.
Yeah, me too. Since writing it,
I will, just like Peace, I will give it a chance.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I'm going to like it.
Yeah. And I will say this right now, too, in case you guys already forgot. Chip Zdarsky is already writing a Batman book right now. It's a miniseries. I
Right.
forget how many issues it is. It's like 7 or 12 issues. So Chip Zdarsky is doing that Batman story, and then he's going to be also writing the ongoing Batman.
You know that's
Just so
not.
there's no
You know
confusion.
that's and trivia. You know that's not his real name, right?
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that. Yeah.
Chip Zdarsky is a pen name,
Yep.
and hardly anyone knows his real name. By the way,
Nobody knows his real.
I think just the people that write his checks.
I
Probably.
remember when he first started, he was an artist.
Yeah,
And
he drew sex
from
criminals
drawing.
with Matt Fraction.
Yeah. He went from drawing to writing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know. So and it turns out
he's a good
writer.
And by the way, that's probably why he's a good writer, because he's an artist also.
Yeah. Not only that, but he writ some of the sex criminals too, man. He didn't just draw it. He actually helped. From Matt.
He's a very funny guy. He's a very funny guy. Like, I think if Chip Zdarsky really wanted to, he could probably have a career in stand-up comedy if he really wanted to. You know, like he's that funny, I think.
So does President Zelensky is a comedian too.
Yeah?
Yeah. The president of Ukraine was a former actor and comedian.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're running on an hour, and I know Anthony's gonna have to get up at 8 to 8. So
no, I have to be at work at 8.
Yeah. So let's what's everybody gonna be up to? I know Anthony's gonna be trying to get this Venerella 2 up to some more backers, so out to more people. So let's help.
I have 19 days left. I have 26 backers. I want to hit 46 backers.
Well, let's help Anthony out,
and I don't care if you're backing it at the $15 level or at the $100 level or at the $200 level, which gets you a cover, original cover. $15 packages start with. If you don't have Venerella number 1, again, real quick, when you buy anything as low as $15 on Venerella 2's Indiegogo campaign, you have the option of getting a copy of Venerella 1 for $5 included. So, you know, that's it. No extra shipping, no extra anything, just $5, which is the cover price. So it's like having an LCS online as an add-on. But yeah, please spread the word, Venerella 2.
We got you.
I came to a little halt in my sales this week, and I think it's inflation. I think it's the war in the Ukraine. I'm blaming all those things on it because I seem to be getting retweets and reposts and everything like crazy.
Right.
But the sales are not relative toward it. And to be honest with you, I'm so busy with work and my real 9-to-5 job that I don't have time to do YouTube channels and shows and things like that, whether it's Comic Skate or whether it's indie shows or whatever. There's a million YouTube channels out there, and I just can't find the time to get on them. So, you know, sales are slow.
I know what it is.
What's that?
People are spending their money buying those Batman tickets. So it's
they're also spending money buying slabbed comics.
Yeah.
In fact, who's the guy who writes what is his name? Vaughn, the guy that writes Saga?
Yeah. Brian K. Vaughan. Yeah.
Brian K. Vaughan tweeted today, and this is a quote: "Fuck you, comic collectors, with your slabbed comics." He said, "Comics are made to be read so many times that the staples fall out. They should not be put in plastic like Han Solo in carbonite." All I gotta say.
Yeah.
If Brian K. Vaughan wants to do a real big FU to the comic industry, make your comics cheaper.
It is.
Saga's only $2.99.
Yeah.
No, I know.
But Saga's $2.99.
But you know what? Why not make it $1.99?
Because then you won't because it costs that much to print it.
Because I'll tell you what,
guarantee it costs. I guarantee you, even
He
in
gets
bulk,
more
the
in
millions.
sales. He gets more in sales in graphic novels than he does the single issues.
No, but what I'm saying is Saga 1 came out and
Yeah.
there's no variant covers. They're not doing there's no variant covers on the new Saga issues.
Nope.
Well,
There's
yeah,
only one
the
cover
reason
and
why
that's
is
it.
because he's against the whole collectability idea.
Right.
Like,
Well, that's
the whole
good.
point of creating variants is to sell on the collectability of it.
Don't I know it?
He wants people to
Yeah.
read it, and that's why he's doing
No
that.
shit.
Right.
But
I know that
if you
by
really
Vampirella.
want people to read your book, make it more affordable.
Well, $2.99 in the year 2022 is pretty affordable.
Mm-hmm.
Because
But-
actually, if you went to Publix right now and bought like a Field and Stream magazine, it's like $10 or $9.99 or something ridiculous.
Who's the one? Weren't you talking about this particular publishing company that makes their comics for $1.99?
Yeah, I do. But that's because, but also he can do that
on newsprint.
He can do that because he prints it on newsprint. I mean, let's be fair.
Guess what? So could Brian K. Vaughan if he wanted to. He can
well, I think that's more. I think that's more Image Comics than Brian K. Vaughan. Be honest with you.
I'm well. Then he can.
I would read it. I would read him on newsprint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Randall. You just solved inflation. I gotta go though, gentlemen. So
all right,
that's all I got going on. What do you guys got going on?
Yeah, what you got going on, Randall?
Besides I'm working on the store. I'm actually gonna go see the Batman on Tuesday.
It's gonna see it before any of us.
Yeah.
The guy who hates it. It's gonna see it before any of us.
A buddy of mine who's a huge Batman fan. He reached out to me and he's like, "Hey man, I'm gonna go see it on Tuesday. I'm getting tickets. Would you be interested in hanging out and you want to go see it?" And I enjoy hanging out with him. So I said, "Yeah, I mean, if you're getting tickets, and you want to go Tuesday night, I'm like, I'm available Tuesday night. So yeah, let's go do it."
It opens Tuesday.
Well, they were doing that IMAX fans screening. Like the fans, if you purchase the tickets, you can see the movie in advance. Nice. So it's just one of those, like, he got the tickets and I said, okay. Yeah. They were like $25 for the ticket. So
each. So wait a minute. So you spent $25 to go see a movie that you have been railing against for months?
Well, I mean, I've told people this, and I agree with everybody. Like, I can't give a full 100% review until I've seen the film. I can give it I can do the negative feedback. I can tell people based on what I've seen in the trailer, based on what I've seen in the interviews, what I don't like about it. But at the end of the day, of course, I have to see the film to give it a full review. So I was going to see the movie no matter what. The thing is, I have no intentions of seeing that movie like 3, 4, 5 times.
William Sorolis comes in at the end of the videos every time. Yeah. I bought a copy of Captain Dingleberry 1 out of the dollar box today because Rick Remender wrote it. And look, he says the cover price was $2.95 in 1998.
Yep.
Well, that's because it was Captain Dingleberry.
Dingleberry.
Yeah, independent books, especially back in the 90s, to make them was more expensive because when you print more in bulk, it becomes cheaper.
Of course.
When you're an independent, you're making your own book, exactly, you don't get those options.
All right. So all you guys know, it's Extreme Nerd Table next week, and then I'm still rethinking Cantonese Comic Wednesdays to see what I want to do, the way I want to do it. And then I'm on the Nerdy Collector show on Saturday. So we'll see you guys next week, guys. Take care, and we'll see you later.